Hello, I'm so sorry, all. We are supposed to come on live at 3 p.m. I know a lot of my friends and followers has been texting me and say, "Oh, what happened? You canceled the event or what?" So we are very sorry because
Yes,
there was some technical glitch,
yes, yes.
and yeah, being women, both of us really have zero technical experience with all this,
Yep.
IT stuff. So we were struggling. So, okay, once again, thank you for staying.
Well, it's good to be finally here. So,
Yes. Oh, okay. Let us officially start. Hello, good afternoon, and I'm back with another episode of Dare to Bear series. I'm your host and moderator. My name is Elizabeth Ho, founder and CEO of Elizabeth Image Branding, an image consulting firm where we help men and women to discover their true authentic self and empower them to communicate that authenticity through their appearance and presence with courage and influence. And thank you for joining me live today. For those who are new to Dare to Bear series, this is a weekly live interview series on Facebook where we take courage, myself as the moderator and all my invited speakers, we really take courage to share and discuss issues that many prefer not to talk about. And
mm,
many of these issues are very close to our hearts. And today's topic is one of them. And this is a platform where I can hope, all of us hope that, I can gather people of the same mind to be real and authentic in a made up world. Yeah.
mm,
So, I also hope that this is a platform where we put our minds and hands and hearts into what really matters in life. So
yeah.
today I have a very special speaker with me. I met her in one of the women conference. Oh, how long was that? How long was that,
I,
Priscilla?
I, wait, I think that was last year. I think in March or around there.
So a year already?
Yeah. 1 year
So
anniversary.
1 year anniversary and we meet live. Amazing, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was an immediate click the first time we
Yeah.
met.
Yeah.
And when we spoke, it was as if we were meant to be partners in doing
Yeah.
great things.
Yes.
Is Yeah. Do you feel that, Priscilla?
Yes.
It's like,
Yes.
we can do a lot of things together. And I
Yeah.
just love your passion and your fire and the intensity within you. Your calling is so infectious. And I'm really thankful for bringing me along with you on your mission trip to Philippines
So it was
last
it
year.
was so good to have you. You were amazing. Like I mean, I didn't know, right, that you would actually just blend in like that. You being an image consultant, so fashionable. I didn't know that you would just fit right in. Really, it was an amazing trip.
No, I love the people there, and I miss Andrea Sumaya. If you are here
Yeah,
with us, I really miss you guys. Okay, please send all my love, give them a hug. The people in Danao. So
yeah,
without much ado, let me officially introduce Pastor Priscilla, Pastor Priscilla Raj. Priscilla is a graduate from Hillsong College year 2000, having majored in pastoral ministry. She has since served as a worship leader, youth pastor, assistant pastor, and founded this special ministry for women known as the Shine Ministry. Her passion to see people encounter God through worship and preaching of the word. Her call is to empower people, and I can testify for that, especially for women to rise up to their potential calling. She preaches and teaches locally all over Malaysia as well as abroad, and she has 3 beautiful children. I had the opportunity to travel with one of them. Really, really a blessing. Yeah, tell the audience today, Priscilla, a little bit about your family and what you guys have been doing.
Okay. Well, I'm married, and my husband, his name is Ken, and we actually were childhood sweethearts. So we met when we were teenagers, and we ended up getting married. And immediately when we got married, we went into serving God. From that day right up to today, I think our biggest passion, I would say, is to really just build the kingdom And we're also raising 3 children, which is not easy in this age and day. It's
Oh, oh no. Oh, wait. I'm so sorry. I'm not sure what I'm pressing. Okay, continue, Priscilla.
okay.
So sorry.
We are, just trying to do our best to raise 3 children in the ways of God as well. And yeah, that's what we're doing. I'm also a mom. A full-time mom, housewife, and well, now everything is work from home, and also running a church and also the women's ministry. My
So you're getting
husband
a,
is in the
you're
marketplace. So he's in the marketplace.
okay.
So he brings the money so that I can do what I need to do, right? We all need that. We all need that. So,
Yeah.
but I'm blessed that he is fully supportive and fully has released me to do what God has called me to do. So I'm really blessed and very appreciative. I can't do any of this without his support and his blessing and his wisdom. His
Amazing.
guidance and wisdom. So many things always running through, with my husband, and he helps just bring a different perspective. And he challenges me, so I'm like, oh, I gotta, think about that again. So yeah, we have a dynamic relationship, but
Yeah,
yeah, also ups
maybe
and
one,
downs, as all
maybe
marriages do.
yeah, maybe one of these days, really, like I the previous week I mentioned to Pastor Sarah, like I need to bring couples together
Yeah.
on the same session, and
Yes.
let's talk about relationship. Let's talk about
Yes.
the up and downs, just now you mentioned, and
Yes.
yet how we can honor God at the same time through our
Yeah, and and
relationship.
and actually, my husband and Pastor Sarah's husband are great friends.
Okay, with Joel.
But if you have them
Amazing.
both at the same time, the whole show will go ruckus. So you can't have them on the same
No,
time. It has
I
to be
am
separate.
I am taking up the challenge. You know
No,
what?
oh my
What I have
goodness.
in mind. You know what I have in mind. I want to gather all these men, just men,
Uh-huh.
and share with us because most of my audience are women. So share from the men's perspective
Mm,
how they really, brave through. Their spouses emotional up and downs and and share with us basically the things that we women have a blind spot to see. All
yes.
right, so we have a lot of people joining us. Yes, Jessica, yes, good to see you two beautiful ladies. Yes, thank you for joining us, Jessica. And we have Mabel, and this, I think you know her, Christine. Do you know?
Yeah, from the
Chris?
Philippines.
Yes. Chris,
Hi.
hi, Pastor Priscilla. So good to see you. Pastor Aaron and Lisa always used to tell us about you. Yes,
Uh,
I had a
that's my
session.
brother. Pastor Aaron's my brother.
Oh, Pastor Aaron's your brother. Yeah. So recently I had a session with Chris, and we talked about on her YouTube channel about personal
Mm,
branding, and also how we use our voice, our platform through our
yeah.
image to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
In the world of YouTubers. Yes, we have Maria. Hello from Singapore.
My friend.
Thank you for joining us. And also, Jia from Pulau Tikus, Penang. Thank you
Wow.
everyone for joining us. Now, today, once again, Priscilla, thank you for saying yes, and especially for this topic, because it's a very sensitive topic,
Mm-hmm.
and thank you for taking the courage to stand up and be the voice in this. In this time. It is really a relevant time for many of us, especially in view of what's happening in the United States, right? So
Mm-hmm.
today our topic for discussion is created equal, hashtag all lives matter. Now, over the past few weeks, I've been really at loss of words to express the sadness that I have felt over the recent incidents.
Mm-hmm.
The video of the senseless murder of George Floyd has sparked
Yeah.
passionate discussions, with friends and even at home during dinner with my family. And every day we turn to social media, we see posting after posting and photos of the riots and protests. And we also see videos of American policemen being violent and unreasonable. Now, all eyes at the moment in the world are on United States of America. But today, I don't want to talk about George Floyd. Today I don't want to talk about the police over there, or I don't even want to talk the whole nation of America. Today I want to stir. I really want to stir our audience attention and focus back right where we are, to our homeland, Malaysia.
Yeah.
Now, Malaysia is a multiracial country, and we are not spared from this issue as well. Right.
Yes.
Very often when this topic came about, and I had the opportunity to talk, people were just being so critical about America. But in my heart, it's like it is happening right here, and either people are so blinded, don't see, or it has been so part of our Malaysian culture that no one see that it is abnormal or there's serious problem about it. So what is your take on this, Priscilla?
Mm-hmm. Well, just like you, I've also been, watching the news, and this whole thing has really stirred up a lot of emotions, and also stirred up a lot of thinking on my part. And also I've been looking further to see, even in our own land and in our own surroundings, whether we see traces of racism, in our own country. And as I begin to look deeper, God began to actually show me deeper into myself, and I begin to look into myself, and I begin to think about whether there are any prejudices that exist even in me personally, And when I begin to look deeper into that, I found some that I have dealt with in the past, and can I share a little bit about that?
Yes.
Because I am Indian, but I cannot speak Tamil, right?
Okay.
So I never had to face an issue with my skin tone being Indian. I didn't have that issue. No one, picked on that. But I did have to face an issue with language when I was in school, in primary school. So because I grew up, my dad is Chindian, actually Chinese and Indian. So he doesn't speak Tamil. He never learned it. My mom is Indian who speaks Tamil, but she never speaks that at home, So I grew up in an English speaking home. But when I went to school in primary, the children there were all Indians, Tamil speaking Indians. And so that for the first time in my life at 7 years old, I was mocked, made fun of, and ridiculed because I couldn't speak the language, even though my skin tone was on the fairer side compared to the other Indians in my class. So the skin tone is not an issue. The skin tone is not really an issue, but the prejudices that we have with other people is because of the differences that exist within us. Maybe because of the way we have been brought up, our own different family have different ways of bringing us up, different cultural experiences, backgrounds, social, economic statuses. All these things contribute to forming mindsets within us that either influence us to see people in a good, in a positive way, or in a way that is, they're different. You know what I mean? And so that was when I faced that. And so I grew up not liking Tamil speaking people. So I began to loathe them. I began to feel afraid of them. I began to feel intimidated of them. And I didn't like them at all.
Was it because of how they treated you, just because you do not speak the same language?
Yes, because I was 7. So I didn't understand in my 7-year-old mind that how is it so wrong if I can't speak Tamil, at that time. And so I'm sure they were innocently teasing, right, with 7. But to me, it became a big scar. It became a big scar. And so as I begin to look back at those times, and guess what? As I grew up, even into my teenagehood, this dislike for the Tamil speaking people
Hmm.
was already in me,
Hmm.
you know,
Mhm.
and because of that few people in school that teased me, I kind of generalized
Hmm.
every Tamil speaking person in that category. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And I
Yeah.
think sometimes we do that.
Hmm.
One bad experience, you know, and we
And
generalize
everyone, yes.
everyone in that
Yeah.
category. And
Mhm.
that's how discrimination and prejudices start in us, you
Mhm.
know. And also, you see, like, we may be okay with different skin tones, right? But then we still may have prejudices against gender. Like,
Mm.
if a girl has been cheated by a guy, now she doesn't like men
Yeah.
because she hasn't dealt with her root issue. She doesn't
Mhm.
like men, but she may be okay with different races.
Mm.
So all this is also a part of inequality.
Yeah. Totally agree.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I fully agree with your point that all these prejudices comes about from our past experience and not necessarily by looking at a different skin tone, then a different reaction.
Yeah.
But I feel very sad is that even for myself, let me share my fair
Yeah.
share of how I was brought up, because my neighbor, we live when I was young, we used to live in a flat, government flat, and my
Yeah.
neighbor was Indian family. So at that very young age, I mean, still kindergarten years, so there's no friends influence or culture influence. It's basically how we were taught. And I often hear, my adopted mom and dad will always tell me, keep your slipper inside. Keep your slipper inside. Otherwise, then they will use terms like, really, now that I look back, all these subtle, very
Yeah.
subtle kind of comment,
Statements.
yeah,
Yeah.
statements and nicknames, it
Yeah.
just sticks because
Yeah.
that's how we grow up. And throughout my adulthood, I grow into this mindset that whenever I see Indians,
Yeah.
my things will be stolen.
Yeah.
It's just that easy.
Yeah.
And now that I look, especially during this period, we are not spared from all this seed of prejudice in all of
Yes.
us. Easy, yeah. So even I was just sharing with another a stylist yesterday, and one of us were saying that if we go out party at night, especially girls, let's say one
Yeah.
whole gang of us, we go out party at night, or dinner at night, and it's 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. and we call Grab, and the moment we see that the Grab driver is an Indian or Malay, then we cancel. So I was like, it is so happening right here.
Yeah.
Is so I really encourage the audience and every one of you who is watching this video to really tear out all these walls and
Yes.
be real with ourselves, and not just be real and recognize, but now let us come together and discuss how can we once and for all pluck out all these seeds,
Yeah.
okay, and
Yeah.
and and do something about it, so that in future our children will not experience George Floyd #George
Yes.
Floyd
Yes.
incidents. Yeah, so I have here Durains. Okay, Durains is one of the youth making a difference youth member in Penang, and Durain, really, I really take my hats off you. He is one really strong young man that stood against all these so-called, and we are just joking kind of joke, that
Yeah.
whenever I'm with these young people, I say, hey, come on, it's not a joke, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Duran, thank you for joining us, and please share with us, comment on the comment box and tell us how you overcome, all right, how you overcome all this, and perhaps give some hope to the rest of the people who are joining us. So back to Pastor Priscilla, how do okay, just now you mentioned that you don't really experience all this colored,
Yeah.
but
Color.
yeah, but do you have any experience from another race, say, from Chinese, especially Chinese. Honestly, Chinese, we are very blessed in many ways, okay? But we have this attitude of really looking down on other on other races because of our blessed environment and how we brought up. So have you ever experienced any of this inequality, so to say, from other
Yeah.
races?
Again, right? This is very interesting because my husband, he speaks Chinese. I don't. So, but we both the
I
same
know he's
skin
here,
color,
right?
right?
Hi, Ken.
Oh,
Hi,
my
Ken.
husband's here. So we're both the same skin color, just that I don't speak Chinese and he does. But when we go into a Chinese restaurant or we go into a shop where the owner is Chinese, uh, I'm speaking in Malay or English or whatever, and I get a standard treatment. But the moment my husband comes in and the moment he speaks in Chinese, right,
Mm.
everything changes.
All this
He
change.
gets favor, he gets extra this and that, and the treatment changes to a whole new level.
Okay.
So I've seen that. I think people, when you relate with people on the level that they are at, the doors open.
Open. Okay.
I've seen how doors open if we can embrace each other and relate to each other in the level that we're at. It just opens favor and door. But I never thought of it as like, oh, I'm Indian, because he's also Indian. So I saw firsthand that just because he understood their language and he communicated to them in the way they understood, he had a different response than I did. So I don't look at it as, oh, they don't like me because I'm Indian. I change my perspective in a way to think, if I would learn Chinese, if I would learn how to relate to them in a way that they understand my language, it opens doors for me. And I think when we have a victim mentality, then we would see, like, yeah, he just doesn't like me, he just likes you because you're a guy or whatever it is. But if we can come out and be healed from our victim mindset, because we all grow up in some way where we have been victimized.
Yes.
If we're not careful, we will allow that victimization to grow with us, and it will begin to influence our perspective, how we even see people, and even how we relate to people.
Right.
So two different people can be presented with the same scenario, but the one with the victim mindset will respond in such a way that is completely different from the one who has a mindset that is wholesome.
Yeah.
So I really believe in our mindset. We have to educate even our children. We have to start them from the level of their mind. Because you see, I saw this interesting picture, right, where a father took his son, who was a black person, a black family, right? And he showed, look at the picture in front of you, look at what's going on in that playground. And in that playground, there was white and black and Hispanics, Asians. They're all hugging and playing with each other, and they were all children. And so the father asked the little boy, what do you see? And the boy said, I see people playing. I see children playing with one another. He said, what else do you see? I see children laughing, having a good time, enjoying each other's company. And the father said, look at that. Look at how a child sees. They didn't see the color. They didn't see the difference in the race. They didn't see all of that. They saw what was similar. What was the thing that made them equal? And so this is where, right, we, like I said earlier, because of our experiences in our past, is where we have learned these prejudices. And so we can also renew our mindset and change our mindset and get healing for our own experiences, and then therefore begin to see people in the way that they truly are, human race.
Yeah, like Chris said, it's so true. We tend to stereotype others because of some bad experiences or preferences that we have, and inequality is indeed the right word. Now, coming back to what you mentioned just now, Pastor Priscilla, both you and Ken has been really blessed in he knows how to speak, break the wall of boundaries, speaking Cantonese, and you basically.
He's a smart man.
I know, I've seen him.
He's a brilliant. I miss him, but yeah,
I'm gonna put him on live one day, okay? But there are a lot out there, say like Durains, he look, his skin is really classic Indian, and he doesn't know how to speak Hokkien, being in Penang, and not many have been blessed with all those opportunities to learn. How can they, amidst of everything they have gone through in the past, bad experiences, yet emerge with a different mindset? How can they do that? Because this is important, right? Yeah.
Yes. I really believe that change has to start with me. If I want to see change in my community or my society, it has to start with my own heart. Because out of my own heart is what's going to come out. You know what I mean? Because you see, I cannot control what people are going to say to me. I cannot control how people are going to treat me. I can't control what's going to happen to me in the outside. But I can control what is going on in my own heart. I can look after the health of my own heart and mind and start there and begin to have a healthy perspective and begin to slowly teach that to my friends, my family, my sphere of influence by being an example. I'll just share a little bit of how I dealt with my prejudice with the, the people who, the Tamil speaking people. You see, what happened is that my dad is a pastor, that, and he cannot speak Tamil, but everyone in his church is Tamil speaking.
Okay.
I mean, not everyone, sorry. He has a Tamil speaking crowd and an English speaker. So he has two.
Yes.
And so because of my own fear of this, what happened when I was a child, I was thinking, oh, everyone's going to hate me. All these Tamil speaking people, they're not going to like me. They're going to hate me, blah, blah, blah. I had my own thinking. I was so closed in my heart to even sit with them, to even hear them out, or even have a decent conversation with them. Even if they come up to me to say hi, I'll be like, hi, and I'll run. Right? I would never give them a chance. And that is when, I believe what happened is that God began to sort of force me to deal with this issue, because I knew that my purpose and my call on the earth is to touch and impact all people, not just a certain group of people, And so because I knew that, now I had to do something about this, because I had to first overcome my own insecurities. And so, when I dig deeper, what was the root? The root was not that I was afraid of them. The root was I was ashamed of my own identity as an growing up in an Indian home, because of all the things we hear about Indians. And for me to be associated by being an Indian, I was ashamed. That was the root issue that I was going through, not fear.
Yeah.
And when I begin to understand, oh my goodness, I'm actually ashamed to be an Indian. That is why I don't want to speak Tamil. That is why I don't want to learn Tamil. That is why I don't want to talk to them. It wasn't that I was afraid. The deeper root was that. And so I had to learn how to overcome my own insecurity and understand that God sees me as a person, not as an Indian. Only when I accepted and embraced the love of the Father for me unconditionally, then that healing began. And now I talk to them, I hug them, I embrace, I preach to them. There is no issue. Why? Because the healing had to take place in my own heart and mind. And healing can only take place when we find what is the root cause of that issue.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
that's my experience with that.
I think Teresa is right when she said, here she said we are all the same inside, only come in different packaging. Yeah, I mean when we go to the mall, when we walk along the aisle in Tesco, we have laundry detergent, but it's the same. It's actually serving the same thing, but it's just the packaging is different. And while I was listening to you just now, Pastor Priscilla, I feel that there's a lot of mindset change need to be done uh, uh, from the Tamil speaking, Indians, and but really come to think of it, because I really have a heart for this group of people, especially Durains. I'm always like a thought, whenever I'm with the white man, I'm like the mother hen and say, oh, I protect Durains, and I have this heart. And I really feel that not just the Indian need to change their mindset, but everyone else, even us. So,
Yeah.
say for example, how can we, people of not the dark colored skin tone, can behave when we say, okay, a very clear example is that I have experienced it before, being in the corporate world, in the HR department. When we hire, okay, we receive application, and we, being in the HR department, we will, shortlist and then pass to our boss and say that, okay, yeah, these are the requirement, those that you ask for certain requirement. And very often, if they see that the picture or the name is Indian, not sure why Indian always will be the one to be let go first. So then only they will consider Chinese, Malay, and my
That's
heart
common
breaks.
here in Malaysia.
Yeah, and my heart breaks, because this is something that the non-Indian us, we need to change our mindset. Because how I see it is, because yesterday one of my students asked me, Liz, we can't help it to behave a little bit different with the Indians, because they really behave bad. They are violent. They are, a lot of them are gangster. That kind of thing. And I explained. I said it's a vicious cycle. Why? Because when they do not have the same opportunity as many of us, say like the example that I gave in the job market, they do not have the same opportunity. They do not earn the same amount like many of us. Chinese, or you get more pay even in the same role and same title. There's difference in pay. And can you see now the reason why they behave this way? Because in many ways they retaliate, right? And also because of lack of opportunity, they are not being able to be financially able, and they do not have financial freedom. And in a sense, I basically what I'm trying to say is, I want to drive the point to many of us that is not dark skin, to realize that what is happening in our Indian friends and Indian community is very much because of what we have done. Can you see that? Yeah, it's because of the situation that we have kind of like pushed them into, that they are who they are, right now. So I'm not sure whether you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. But I would say, right, everyone is given equal opportunity to work. That means if we are able to work, if we are physically able, not disabled, to study in school and work and do, you see, because we're talking about something, a symptom that we're seeing that started hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
We can't even find where is the group.
So we have to start here by telling out, if we're Indians and we feel that we're not having the equal opportunity, we feel like we're being looked down on, then we can't go around rioting and protesting on the streets and causing violence, which thank God Malaysia is quite safe that way. But what we must do is teach from the children to study, to get an education, to study, to do well in school, whatever capacity that they are able to do that. Because when we do the right thing and when we do the good thing, definitely doors will open. I'm a big believer in God and his favor, and God is a fair God. He is a just God. If we will do the right thing and the good thing, he will open the door for us that no man can shut. You know what I mean?
Amen.
I'm a big believer on that. So I would say to the Indians, the longer we're going to sit in this mindset, oh, because of our skin color, we're victimized, because
Mhm.
that excuse will never end. We can
Mm.
go talking about that because that'll never end. Like I said, we cannot control how people treat us, but
Mm.
we can do something about our situation right now. What is it in your hand? What is it? What talent do you have? What gift do you have? What
Mm.
mind do you have to study? Whatever. If you have energy, go work. Do
Mm.
something that will
Mm.
help improve the socio-economic status and condition of your own life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to the Chinese, what I would say is that superiority complex.
How can we overcome this? What advice do you have
We
for
have to go to the
Chinese?
root. The root of superiority complex is pride.
Hmm.
The root of feeling, oh, I'm superior. We are a better race. We are this and that. Why? When you go deep down in the heart of the matter, is a form of pride and
Yeah.
arrogance. And
Yeah.
if the pride and arrogance is not dealt with, then we will be seeing more discrimination
Mm.
coming from a particular race to another.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know what I mean? So what I
Yeah.
would say is that if there are people who are of a particular race who know this and see the truth and are passionate about it, then they need to speak to their own people.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like, I'm an Indian. I need to speak to my community and say, guys, come on, stop making excuses. Get up and go to work. Get up and go to school.
Yes.
Go to
Yes.
college.
Yeah.
Do something with your life. And if you're a Chinese, you need to speak to your community and say, guys, we're all equal.
Yeah.
We need to check our hearts. None
Mhm.
of us are perfect, and
Mhm.
we need to treat you know what I mean? We all have to
Yes.
be
Yes.
voices in our own communities if we want to see the change.
Yeah, I think when you brought up, using our voice, I was just sharing with you just now before we go on live. Yeah, Pastor Priscilla, I was actually challenged because before deciding on this topic for the past week. So someone told me, this is a very sensitive topic, and would it's not really wise to use your platform to talk about this because it can either end up here or end up there, and you're using your business platform and all this. And I had a few days thinking about that. And the safest thing is Priscilla, to keep quiet and do nothing, right?
Yeah,
In our heart, it's like many of us right now are doing. You see, um, uh, we know, we feel it, we see it, but we say nothing. And in our heart, we just hope that it will go away and it will be better. But I refuse to do that. I refuse to do that. And I say, you know what? God has given me this platform, and honestly, I do not know how I came to what I am today. I do not know, if it's not because of the favor of the Lord. And I said, if this platform is given to me with, by His grace, I am going to use this platform plus my voice to talk about it, to talk about
yeah,
what is right and what is wrong, and how we can, with our influence, gather people together and say, come on, let's do something different, and let's
yeah,
just pluck out the weeds of injustice and prejudices. And this is what I'm going to
yeah,
do with our voice,
yeah,
and all of us here can do that. you know
yeah,
oh yeah.
yeah. Wow. I
Okay.
mean, that's why we need more Chinese women like you.
Oh, you have a lot here. That is telling me.
Who would
I know
speak
that.
to
Yes.
because you see, well, if you go to the Indian community and if you tell them, oh, it's all right, don't take it to heart, it's okay, don't be offended, they'll be like, hey, who are you to say that to me? You're Chinese,
Yeah.
you have all the privileges, you
Yeah.
have no right to say. But
Correct.
if you speak in your own community,
Then it's different.
among the Chinese people,
Mm.
like I said just now, the moment my husband opened his mouth and spoke in Cantonese, the doors open.
Yeah.
Because we need to meet people where they're at. And,
Mm.
and, and that's why God has placed us in the right skin tone, in the right race, in the right community, because that is our purpose and He will use us to do that. But we have
Mm.
to understand our purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
because Liz, like what you said, saying nothing is easy, but saying
Yeah.
nothing is wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Saying nothing is wrong, and we have to first decide if we want to do the right thing or not. Because
Mm.
if we want to do the right thing, then we must use our voice in the right way. There is also
Mm.
a right way to do it,
Yeah.
and teach people. I think education is so important. Like for my children, I need to sit with them and teach them and explain and reason and talk to them for
Yeah.
them to understand. And it
Yeah.
has to start in our families. Imagine if I say things to my children, oh, look at that Chinese, and I call them names or whatever. And
Yeah.
when I'm doing that at home, I'm not affecting change because I'm contributing on a larger scale to the issue that's already prevalent.
Yeah.
So that's why I
Totally
was
agree.
saying change has to start with me, my home, my family, my community, my workplace, my school, my
Mm.
college, wherever. So imagine if every one of us begin to be a voice in our community and our home and family, we can see a difference, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, let's hear from our audience and see what they say. Yeah, yeah. So Nirosha said totally agree with you, Priscilla. Yeah, and Chris said, yeah, it's pride, and very often it is pride, whether from any skin colored, the reaction that came forth is always due to pride. Okay, so we also have Maria. Maria said, agreed on what Elizabeth said. Do consider giving Indians the chance, employment. They are dedicated, and many of them are hardworking, faithful. Just give them a chance. Yes. So don't worry, Maria. Liz will stand for your race. All right, and I will influence the Chinese. Okay, and Jessica said
And
we
and
cannot.
and and Elizabeth, that is, I think if we want to fight for justice, we got to
Mm,
fight for each other.
yes, correct. Yeah.
We have to
I think
speak.
this
We
is
have to speak our voice in our community, but we have to fight for the other.
for each other. Yes.
You know
That's
what
why
I mean? And
yeah.
when we do that, it's amazing.
Yeah, when I on the TV and watch the news, it's very sad to see the protests happening in America and all the
Yeah.
blacks are coming out. But I could see a sense of hope because here and there are whites actually standing
Yeah.
by their
Yes.
people. And
Yeah.
I just my whole countenance just changed by seeing that the opposite skin color people are standing by them. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that this is what we need to do. Fight for justice, not for ourselves, as I wrote in one of my
Yes.
postings, but for one another. All right.
Another.
And when we do that, when they see injustice that happening to us to our race, these are the people they will come forward to support
Yes.
us. Yeah. So yeah. So
Can I
Jessica
say
was
this, Elizabeth? Can I say
yeah.
this? Because our hashtag is all life matters, right?
Mm, yes.
All life matters. And if we really have that conviction that all life matters, we also must fight for the unborn babies.
Mm, yes.
You know what I mean? Those
Yeah.
unborn yet that are being aborted by the millions in a year.
Mm,
You know what I
totally.
mean? I may
Yeah.
be touching on some sensitive issue also
Yeah.
with this, but the moment I know that a baby already has a full-on heartbeat at 6 weeks old,
Mm,
which
yeah.
means when they have a heartbeat, they have a life.
Yeah.
And if all lives matter, then we need to also speak for them, because they
For them,
obviously have no mouth to speak for themselves.
definitely.
So we cannot be people who will jump at one thing just because that is the one thing that's being highlighted to us in a moment of time. We
Yeah.
gotta be people who are carrying justice and truth and mercy in our souls every day.
Yeah.
Because there's only one war, Elizabeth. The war between good and evil. There is no war between Indian and Chinese. There shouldn't be. There's only
Yeah.
one war, good and
Good and
evil,
evil. Yeah.
and that's it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
the quicker we see that and understand that, and we want to do good, I believe that intention to want to do good and to want to do right will take us to the next step.
Yeah. And this is real, because when in our hearts and mind we have decided to do what is right, okay, it will spill into other areas of our life, into
Yes.
other matters. So let's say if in this matter, you stand up and you say that I choose what is right, and when another issue came up, you will automatically also apply, the principle, godly principle in your life, and say that, irregard of what is the situation, what is the right thing to do.
Yes.
So when it comes to, unborn child and all this, it is wrong. It is wrong. It is. Yeah. So again, I think, the issue of pride comes in as well. I think why abortion happened is because ashamed, because I cannot be seen, I'm not married. A lot of all this pride in the community, pride in the family, pride within yourself, you have an image to keep, and yet, now this mess come, so quote and unquote mess, so therefore the mess has to go. Choose what is right. Choose what is right in the eyes of God. Yeah. Because sometimes what is right can be, very subjective, because it is right now to me, So I think we really need the eyes of really a renewal of mind, and
we need to choose right according to God's standard, because He is our creator. And when we die, we will be in front of the Creator, and He will ask us according to His standard, not according to our national standard or our standard,
Yeah, all right. So let's see what our audience has been saying. Yes, thank Chris for staying through the session. I know you're a very busy lady. So she said, yes, we need to start in our own community. Trust me, pride and prejudice is super common as well as in the Filipino community. Due to the mentality.
I love Filipinos.
Yeah, I know that.
They're my second family.
Yeah. And what else, Doreen? Yeah, I want to hear what Doreen said. To me, we're all born equal, skin and color. On prejudice, we're all created by humans. And it all starts from the top. Yeah. Kids aren't born racist. I totally agree with you. They were taught to be one. Values bestowed by parents upon their kids will determine whether they will take the path to racism, or likewise parents play a vital role. And this, you are so right, you're spot on, Doreen. And this brought me to the role as parents right now, because we have discussed the issue. We understand that it's really prevalent right now within all of us. Now, since our time is coming up, what are the things that we can do to start off this revival of change within us? What can we do?
As parents, when you talk to your children, don't talk about people in terms of their race.
Okay.
When we're addressing people, address them as people, as human beings, not Indian, Chinese. It is so common in our Malaysian culture. I tell you, I tell you, even when a baby is born, they'll ask, is the baby fair? Is the baby dark? Is this, it starts from there, and it is crazy. We as Malaysians, we gotta stop talking about the difference in our culture or language or race or skin color. We have to learn first as adults how to see people as people.
Yes.
Because if it doesn't change in our own mind, we can't teach that to our children.
Mm.
We can't. It has to start with us so that we can communicate it from the top to the bottom and begin to teach our children that, So parents do
Yeah.
play an important part. And also one more thing I want to say is also how you help your children navigate hurts and offenses that happen between different communities of people is important. Because you can teach them in the moment of their hurt and pain,
Yeah.
if you teach them how to navigate that rightly and say, hey, you need healing from this, let's talk about this, let's chat about this, tell me how you feel. Don't say, tell me what that Indian did, tell me what that Chinese did, tell me how
Yeah.
you feel. Let's work on you, let's work on your healing. And if we can navigate that journey properly, right, we are teaching the next generation how to deal with their own hurts. And because offenses happen in school, wherever, from different races as well. So we got to teach, we are responsible to teach our children how to respond correctly.
Okay. So can I ask all the audience with us today, if you are a parent or going to be a parent, can you please say yes to this challenge to teach your children different, okay? Because really, in order for our future to change, first our role as parents have to come in effect from our own children themselves. Okay.
I think parents
Thank
have
you,
to
Shiwei,
filter. We have to filter our mouth, because parents, right, we bring back our office matters at home. We talk about what happens outside to our children, and we also can say things that are racist against our bosses or employees or whatever. And all that we don't know is indirectly influencing our children in the way they are viewing other races. So we got to be very careful when we're discussing issues and problems to discuss it rationally and not with our own prejudice and emotional baggage to them.
I think just now you hit the point, Priscilla, when you said let's look at issue as issue itself and not pull in colors and race and culture. I think this is something that we need to start, because very subconscious, I realize even that happens to me whenever I see
too.
And then I was like, Malay law, Chinese law, when I see the one MDB J law, right, only Chinese has this this kind of mind to cheat, this big sum of money. So even this kind of comment very subconsciously will come out of our mouth, and young children will absorb.
They're listening.
And they're listening. And then they form their own judgment and mindset and it just grow into adulthood. And automatically, when they see Chinese, maybe from a different race, they look Chinese. Wow, it's like big shark, know. And then Malay is something else, and Indian is something else. And this, and they don't even know where all this mindset start from. So let's really come together and stand together as a nation, and besides healing our land from COVID, I think we have also to heal our land from all these prejudices and kind of diseases that is unseen. Okay, so we really have to stand as a nation together. So time runs, time passed so fast. I'm looking at the time, it's 3:59. It just feels like 20 minutes. So do you have any last advice or encouragement to the audience?
I want to say this, right, that none of us are going to get it right all the time, right? And the most important thing that we need to do is that we need the help of God if we are going to overcome this issue of having prejudices. Because as human beings, we are limited in our mind, intellect. We are emotional beings and creatures. So we cannot trust even in our own hearts. We cannot trust even in our own judgments. we can't even trust in our own, even when we make decision, the next day that decision will change. Today I say I'm going to exercise, I'm going to lose 10 kilos. 3 days later, that decision is gone down the drain.
Are you talking
So
about me?
I'm talking about me. So we are human beings, and that is why we need a power source that is above us all, that is outside of us, who is our creator. He's the only one who is able to heal us, so that we can heal our land. You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
really need to ask the help of God, to help us to think the right way, and feel, and to be in check of our emotions, and not
Yeah.
letting it, run everywhere.
Yeah.
And also I want to say, just encouragement is that we are very blessed to be in Malaysia. Although we have so many things, issues, racial issues and things like that, but
True.
I know that we are blessed to be in Malaysia, and we are, we somehow find a way to come together. When we have Hari Raya or Deepavali, Christmas, food brings us all together.
Yes.
So, so we can always use food as
Yeah.
a tool
As a
to,
glue.
bring healing.
Yes.
Yeah, come close,
Yeah.
and let's work together towards a better future for our children and for
Mm.
us as well. And we have that hope. I really believe that we can. I really believe
We
in
can.
Malaysians and in
Yeah.
Malaysia.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
that's all.
let's see some of the last comments. Yeah, living in a multiracial country is sad to see that some users race as a factor to determine the value of a person. Yes, has been happening, and we weren't united. Yeah, we
Yeah.
wouldn't have achieved independence from British. If we stand more united, there are more that we can achieve. I totally
Yes.
agree. And I'm going to post up the next comment that really put me to shame, because sorry, Ken, I can't read. I'm a Chinese that doesn't read Chinese and doesn't understand Chinese. Slap, slap, okay.
Oh man.
So for those of you who can read Chinese, yeah, I even though I don't understand what is written here, I totally agree with you, Ken. Okay, I really enjoy our session together, Pastor Priscilla, and I hope that really we continue to use our voice and our platform wherever we are, and not just both of us. I hope that all of you will come on board with us in your own sphere of influence to do the little thing.
Yes.
When we put in effort to do a little and make a little difference, and when all of our little difference comes together, is a big explosion. And that
Yes.
have been in my heart, how people
Yeah.
come together and make an explosion, because none of us, just one, can make such an explosion.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you so much for this time. Thank you all the audience who has been joining
Thank
us.
you for having me.
And yeah, so the audience have been so active, commenting until I have no time to post them up. Please continue to join us again. This Dare to Best series is every Saturday, where we talk about topic that is really
Saturday or Sunday?
sorry, Sunday. Every
Sunday.
Sunday, okay, every Sunday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Where we talk about topics where really people want to avoid. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm really taking courage to stand forward and pull in people with the like-minded people to make a difference. And next week we have another great speaker, yeah, Daniel Lee. So just like my page, Elizabeth Image Branding, and be updated about what is coming up. Okay, so this is our page. Please like our page, and even my YouTube channel. So all these videos will be all this. If you have missed any of our past interviews, just log into my YouTube channel, and you will find what are some of the topics that we'll talk about. So thank you so much, and God bless, and we will see you again. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Priscilla.
Bye.